G'day my friends, Marty Wee here from Marty's Garden. In today's video I want to talk about Australia's food security. Are we screwed? Have we got things coming to us that we're not really sure about? There's stuff going on around the globe that's really spiraling and showing that we could be heading in that direction as well if government policy heads the wrong way and people aren't getting the help and support they need, but not so much in a way of government control, but incentives, a true incentive to get back out on the work and farm. Now, I mentioned in a video a while ago about something that people aren't talking about. They're not talking about this food security problem with farmers. Now, that's just one of them, and I've got some evidence coming up for some overseas stuff that I want to share. You may have heard me say it in the live video before. Now, with inflationary costs still coming up, and we've got a new election coming up, and they're going to be talking fully about cost of living and bringing down energy prices. That's going to be a really big one, and they're going to be fighting about this whole lean green economy and nuclear. So it's going to be really interesting to hear what they talk about that. But getting back to the thing that no one's really talking about, and the farming side of things. Now, I mentioned an age. I think I said the average age was 58. I think that's global for farmers, but I think it's, someone mentioned it quite a few times in the comments, it's 67 years old for the average farmer, and they don't retire. They just basically just keep working until their days are done. And to me, that is really sad. And there's no one really moving through into agriculture to take over this. There's some departments, well, not departments so much, but there's this whole movement with sustainable agriculture, right, that's moving through, but it's not going to be big enough to feed everyone. This is one of the problems. It sounds all glorious and golden and all that type of stuff, but unless we create new food systems and we actually get used to eating other types of foods as well, like from our backyard, and learn how to become more like homesteaders, whether we're living in a little house or a little apartment or whatever, learning how to grow some of our own food, we might have some problems coming up in the future. Now, I'll share a story with you to do with the farming and how I know that this is also a global thing and how it's actually affecting my family as we speak. My wife Shirley lives on an island in Bohol, which is south of the main island of Manila and all that in the Philippines, and sort of nearly side by side of Cebu. Now, predominantly most people grow rice. There's a couple of small cities there, but predominantly most people grow rice. And they may only grow a little bit to sell, but they'll grow enough like for the families or for a conglomerate amount of people that need that amount of rice. Now, with the changing seasons and things like that, it's getting a bit trickier on when to harvest, when to wait to plant for the rains and things like that. So that's making things a bit tricky. But the farmers are getting older, and Shirley's dad is one of them. And he's on retirement age, and he's actually got a pension, so he's pretty lucky in that regard. But you know, there's a big family. I think that all over Manila, all over Philippines, there's over like 250, but there's quite a lot that live in the area of Bohol called Sumampong Island. They've got a whole lot of land, and they all have their houses on there and things like that. And yeah, they're not able to grow all the rice they need. Well, they've been sort of pulling it off, but we've got some problems coming up because their father's getting old and there's no young guys wanting to take over to farm the rice. Now, as Shirley and I, we sort out the paying for the rice, so for the seed and things like that, and then we pay for the labour and we pay for the storage, you know, to build the storage systems and all the type of stuff. So we're really covering the costs. We're the ledger, so to speak. And being in agriculture, you know, like obviously my brain starts ticking about how I can solve these problems because her father's feet have got some problems because he's got to walk around in water with gumboots on and things like that, and we're having trouble getting people to actually fill those spots to do the work, and they're all heading off to the cities, to different places, working online, finding different types of work and stuff like. Now, I think if there was a pandemic or something went on, or something, you know, a typhoon or something come through or whatever, they'd all come back again and be asking for work. But that's not sustainable, right? So yeah, we got to go through this ourselves and figure out, hey, how are we going to keep growing the rice for the family so we don't have to buy rice? And then I'm looking at it from an agricultural point of view again, going, okay, so let's buy extra rice and store it up and build a bigger shed. So yeah, we're going through this as a family, and it's happening not only in Australia but all over the globe, unfortunately. So I believe that, you know, we have a lot of oncoming issues that are futuristic, and we like to, as people, pretty much go put our heads in the sand and not look at the future ahead of what could be coming up, right? And this is pretty sad, and I know this because I've had, like, from the last few videos that I've made on this, some really awesome comments about, yeah, let's look at solutions. How can we find ways of solving these problems? What's really coming up? And then others going, mate, you know, this is not happening. Actually telling me this is not happening. I've got the evidence, I've got the proof, you know, and it's not only me that's saying it. You can't, having a 67-year-old farmer on average throughout Australia is not sustainable in an aging country, right? We're not getting any younger, we're having less children because it's getting more expensive to have children, and that's a whole other thing again. And so what I'm talking about is going, hey, Australia's turning into a prepping nation in a way, and moving back to the homesteading type of thing and things like that. And they might meet, you know, in the little city areas and stuff like that, where you see people scooting around fast and doing all this, make money. But what happens with them is then they go to the kitchen, not kitchen shelves, the shelves where they buy their food, and go, wow, there's a lot less at the moment, not as much food around. What do we do? And then there's panic buying and stuff, and then so people will buy a whole lot of stuff, and then there's not enough for someone else, and then, you know, we have the supply and demand problem, which pushes prices up again because people get greedy and move on to prices. Now, where I live, at Woolies, there's half the eggs. Pretty much there used to be about 10 or 12 different brands on there. Now you walk on a Monday morning, because they don't do a Sunday stock shelf, you walk in there as empty. So all the eggs are taken out over that Sunday, they're gone. Saturday they get a delivery, they're gone. But I've been watching, going through and noticing, hey, there's only half the amount of eggs, and then they're sort of sporadic. You don't really have a lot of choices. And there is a problem going on with the egg industry at the moment. There's a lot of regulation, I believe, possibly coming in on battery hens and things like that. And I've heard stories that Coles and Woolies may not be even buying them anymore, because they made a decree between each other 10 years ago that they were going to stop buying battery eggs. Now, everyone would probably be thinking that's a really good thing, right? And from a point of view for the chicken, 100%, you know, who wants to see a chicken with, you know, with no wings and, you know, all hormoned up and the whole lot can't move, and, you know, it's really cruel. Let's just be straight open honest with that. It's really, really cruel for that chicken. But the organic industry, the organic egg industry, is saying that we cannot produce enough eggs for Australia. And so if the legislation cuts that down and we don't have that type of egg farming going on, then we don't have enough eggs, and then supply and demand is going to push the prices up. Now, when I went to the butcher the other day, he sells eggs there. They have free range eggs, and they were always $10. They are now $13.99. That's quite an increase, right? Because of the supply and demand in Mullumbimby, here where I live. So I really believe, and I'm pushing this with all my heart, is we need to start looking at solutions for ourselves before these things change and evolve. Obviously, there will be businesses come in and say, hey, there's a hole in the market here. Like, even I've thought about it. I could start a chicken farm here and have it, if I had enough chickens, and sell eggs, and you could have a pretty good little business running. You know, you're not going to get rich, but you'd actually make some money. So there's going to be businesses see those loopholes, they're going to jump in and solve problems, but it's going to take some time. And then these other ones are going to exist because of aging farmers and different things coming through. And if you didn't see that other video, make sure you check them out. I'll leave like a card or something at the end, and some links to that so you can learn more about it, because we're going to have this spiraling effect going on. And what I'm talking about is learning how to grow your own food at home. There's so many great channels on YouTube. What I recommend that you do, yeah, watch the Marty's Garden videos for sure, but look what someone who's local for you, who's growing locally to you. Speak to also horticulturists that are local to you and nurseries that are local to you, what plants grow best in your climate, because this video could go international. And then start trialing different plants to grow. Start learning, getting your feet and fingers into the dirt and start learning how to grow food. You're gonna make a few mistakes. It's gonna be a little bit tricky at first, but you will get there. And then as these times spiral on, food gets more expensive, it gets more difficult to get. And hopefully I'm wrong, but really honestly, an aging farmer with an aging population and farming getting more expensive, fertilizers getting up more expensive, and possibly, as say, if gasoline goes up again because of things that are going on around us, you know, the government's not going to be able to control inflation. So it's going to be a tricky one. So I really recommend that you do that. Like I said, get to a YouTube channel, learn from them, stick with those guys, find maybe a couple of different channels, speak to your local horticulturist, your local nurseryman, get your hands and feet and fingers in the soil, start learning, start off small, do what you can, and if you've got more room, expand out, and then learn how to dry, how to store and save these foods, and also learn how to buy your foods in bulk so you can actually produce these things and start practicing like that as well. If you buy your foods in bulk and things, you can actually start saving money that way. I'm really hoping I'm coming up with some solutions here. I'm not trying to fearmonger anyone at all. I'm just letting people know that this is what's happening. It's happening to us at the moment, not in Australia, but in the Philippines. And it's exactly the same thing. It's a global thing. If you look at not the history, but if you look at everywhere's aging in population, and they're talking about, Elon Musk even said that places like Japan are going to become extinct because they've got a 1.1 baby rate or something at the moment. You have to look at the whole stats. It's really quite eye-opening. And yeah, let's start making a change. Watch some of the videos on the channel. Got some great stuff on here about growing food, from microgreens, baby leaf, growing tomatoes, growing all different types of things. I'm in a subtropical area, but we teach temperate and tropical stuff, and I teach you how to grow soils, build soils, and that's pretty much global thing. And feed the soil, not your plants, and that's when you're on a win-win-win situation. All right, I've kept it for quite a while, but I'd love to hear what you think in the comments box down below. If I've got anything wrong, or you've got any other data other than what I've spoke about, or any other information, please leave it in the comments box down below. And we've got some cooking videos coming up for you guys. As long as it doesn't keep raining and my missus has got some time, we're doing some harvest and cook stuff, and a real range of content on here that's gonna push things to, I'm not going to say a new level, but to new heights here on the channel. I'm really hoping that's the case, and we can get it together. All right, God bless. I'm just waiting for the rain to come. Have a great day. Happy gardening. See you at the next video real soon. Bye for now.